Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're returning, if you are new, welcome. Um, I feel a little crazy saying welcome back if you've been here because I disappeared for like 6 months. Let me explain. So life, life did what life does. Not necessarily all bad, just busy at. I know when I left off, I was telling you guys that I was in the process of um, interviewing for a new job that was going to bump my salary. I did end up getting that job. I'm still there. But at the same time, I was still working the other one for a while and like an overlap transition kind of. So I was working full time at the main job and then I was still doing hours at the other job. And then the fall semester in August started where I was taking a full course load. I think it ended up being like 18 units or so. And so life was lifing and I was doing a lot. And um, a lot of things took the back burner. I wasn't taking like the best care of myself. Recently, I have left the secondary job or the one that I was working part time. And I ended up withdrawing from one of the classes where I was just really struggling and figured a withdrawal would look a little bit better than failing it in general. And so now I feel like my time is being used a little bit better. I feel like I have time. I can breathe. I'm getting proper sleep. And so it's time to kind of wrap a few things up. Not just that, we moved. So we moved into like a better neighborhood, but that also means that our rent has gone up. And when we moved, it was really, really last minute. It was like, I really want to move by the end of the year. Ooh, this house is for rent. It's really cute. We probably won't get it. There's lots of applicants, less supply. We get the house. We're moving in a week. And so it's a blessing that we were able to pull together all of the money that we needed to be able to move. And we're still fine. We weren't like hurting. We were able to like get a couch and get a few things. We're still buying things for the house. But then at the same time, us moving so suddenly, right after I bought a car, there's been a lot happening. And so you'll see in our budget, um, the income is much more than what it was. Our expenses are more, but it still leaves us a bit of money. I did end up paying off a few things throughout the year, just kind of knocking a couple of things off. So I might do for 2024 like a new debt update, just because like I said, I got a new car, so my debt is very different than what it was previously. I do still owe a little like $2,000 on the old car. So it's just like a lot going on, and so I figured the best way to make sure that I was going back to my budget because I was spending. My 30th birthday came. We went to Chicago. Like I was living life. And so now it's time to get it together. Um, and so I figured the best way to do that would be to come back here. And so now that I have spent 3 minutes rambling, I would like to get into our November budget. I got this spreadsheet from Etsy, more than likely. I don't remember the shop, but if I can find it, I will link it in the description below if you want to use it. It has a few tabs at the bottom. You can do like a calendar, sinking funds, debt snowball. I haven't really gotten into those just yet because I'm still kind of struggling with kind of how to handle it. So I was like, well, let me get my budget part together, and then like I'll start kind of like dabbling in other things. And so um, you'll see our monthly income. I am salaried. My husband is also salaried. So I get paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. So like 30th, 31st, if it's February the 29th. And then my husband is paid every other Friday. And so the way that I do our income is a little bit weird. So for the month of November, because I use money from the 31st to pay some of the bills from the first week of the month, that's where I start the budget. So I started my budget on October 31st, and then it goes all the way to the 17th. My husband will have another paycheck after the 17th, and then I will have a paycheck on the 30th, which will go towards like the month after that. And so these are like the four bills that are going towards November's bills, if that makes sense. So our income for that is $7,600. The good thing about it is because we're salary, we know exactly how much we're getting. My husband's been making the same salary for almost a year now. He's been in this position, and then I got this job in April. So we know that there are no like changes and fluctuations besides like a couple of cents here and there. The only thing that's bad about it is that if we decide that we need more money for any reason, there is no overtime. And so that kind of sucks. But If we get our budget together, I don't anticipate us, unless something dire happens. I don't really, knock on wood. That's not wood, but knock on it. Unless something really dire happens, I don't anticipate that being the case, so we should be fine. Um, so you'll see on the 31st, we will be having $2,300 coming in. On the 3rd, which is like 2, 3 days later, we're going to have another 1,500 come in. And so that's going to take care of all of our bills up until the 15th. And so I already have here the bills that we have due. So on the 1st, of course, our rent is now 1,890. Our rent was previously 725. But the house was like falling apart and it was in the hood. So 1,890 for a very clean, very quiet neighborhood with a great landlord. We love where we are. My husband, his commute has gone from 30 minutes down to like 8 minutes. And so this was like the best case scenario, and it's definitely worth it. And then I felt comfortable just because like one of my paychecks will cover the rent. Like if anything were to happen and and I get paid the day before the 1st. So if anything happens and we just F our entire budget for the month, I'm going to get paid, and then I can pay the rent, and then we'll have a couple $100 left over for like gas and groceries, and then we'll just be hurting until my husband gets paid. But the point of this is so that we don't get in those situations, but let's be real, like life happens. So our rent is due on the 1st. Car note, guys, do not beat me up. Okay, so the only reason that I got a new car was because our other car gave out. So I think I was talking about it in my very last video where I was saying we were going to have to buy a new car because the other one gave out. We thought it was like the starter or something. It turns out the engine blew, and it wasn't that great. It was a smart car, so it was like it wasn't, yeah. So the engine blew. We bought a car cash, and so we still do have that truck. We bought a truck cash for like $2,600 a couple of weeks ago. It's fine. It's still up and running. It's fine. My husband drives it to and from work, but then I decided that I needed a car because we were relying on one car, and so if there's an emergency, we didn't have another car. Just for me to be able to have my own life. I work from home and I go to school online, and so I don't get out of the house often. And so just to combat that, we decided that we needed another car. And I was like, I work incredibly hard and I want a new car. And so I got a 2021 Jeep. It is amazing. It has like it had about 10,000 miles or so on it. It's used technically. And so it's still under warranty. It's still new. And so anytime I need something fixed, nothing has needed to be fixed so far. But I am still paying quite a bit for that car. But I am of the thought that, as long as I can afford it, then do it. We will not be getting another car with the car note. We will be paying this one off first. Um, and then when we need to upgrade the other one, we're going to probably sell it and then take that money and roll it over into buying another car cash. But I am a woman. It snows in Michigan, and a lot of when I get out is at night, and I do not have time to drive a beater car. I know that's what they recommend and what they say that you should do. And maybe it was foolish of me to get a car note, but I 100% believe that, you work hard so that you can enjoy life, not so that you can, suffer. And so that was my splurge. I went and got a car. And so my car is a 758. Our energy bills, we have our heat and our energy is two different companies. So we have our consumer energy bill is 136. And we are on like a budget billing plan, so it will always be 136 unless our usage changes. My car insurance is 252. Renter's insurance is $30.42. DTE is insane. So we moved in September and they still have not generated a bill for us just yet. So we haven't been able to budget for it because we have no clue what the bill is. And so I've called 3 times and they told me that someone will get back to me sometime in the next 30 days. So we're going to put some money away towards it. I just didn't include it in the budget because I don't know. Um, I have the Insight app, which tells me about how much energy or how much heat we're using and like what it should be. And it seems to be between like $70 and $80. And so I have $80 put away for October, and then I'll put it away another 80 in November and see like what our bill is. But hopefully by December, this will be rectified, and then I can actually like budget for it. Um, Verizon bill is $288 a month. Xfinity is higher than normal. First of all, it's $100 more than it's supposed to be, and I have written them about it, and they're looking into it, and they're supposed to take this extra $100 off. But this is for the end of October. We just changed our billing date as well because it used to be the end of October, but it seemed like all of our bills were piling like at the same time because we had just moved, and so our bill is like $100 a month. So it's for October and November is 220, and then there's an extra $100 in here that should not be there. So I have budgeted here the 330 for now. It should be 220. So I am waiting for them to take that extra money off, but I will essentially only be paying 220. And then from there, like I said, our bill is like a little over like 105 after tax or something. So our bill going forward will just be the 105. Water 2187. I don't know for a fact that this is going to be like the correct amount for our water, but that's what we were billed for October. And so in November, I'm assuming we'll find out like what our water use is because I think they bill a month behind. So what I paid for in October was for September usage, and we moved in halfway through September. So I'm assuming our bill will be higher than that. But I put 2187 here as the budget because that's what it was. And then once I get the bill on November 15th, then I can actually put in under the actual like what the budget is, and then I'll be able to do that from there. One of my credit cards, $30. Hulu 33. I have a Peloton that I rent 127. I've been renting it for about a year now, and so at the end of the year, I'm going to find out how much the final payoff is for me to just keep it. I'm kind of thinking about sending it back and then just paying 250 for like a just a regular Echelon bike, depending on how much they're saying it is to just buy it out. But I also feel like if I've put a year into paying towards it already, I might as well just pay the rest of it. Like sunk cost fallacy, I guess. Let me know what you guys think. I also have a gym. I'm going to be getting a gym membership. But like I said, it snows here, and I'm a California girl. I don't do snow. I don't know snow. So I'm thinking for like the winter months, the likelihood of me like getting up and driving to the gym in 10-degree weather is less than zero. And so I feel like I have like a work like a yoga mat and like some other things, but just like the cycle, I enjoy the Peloton a lot, but I could pay 250 and own it straight, and then I can pay for like the $30 Peloton subscription and still take the classes, which is an option. So I am considering doing that because I'm kind of it's only $100, but I'm kind of tired of it being in my budget. So there's that. And then my other card total is 41. For both of my credit cards, they are only I think the balance on both of one is like 270, the other one the balance is like 300. So I think for November, my goal is just like I said, after all of our bills and stuff, we still have almost a little over 3,500, 3,600 to budget. So I'm thinking about just knocking both of those off, keeping them at zero, and then you just using them for like gas or emergencies. So that's what I'm thinking there. So here is where the rest of the budgeting happens. And I figured I would wait until um, I would do it on camera with you guys because this is where I struggle. So, groceries. There is my husband and myself. Um, Men can eat. So we don't have any children, but he eats. And then I have a dog, and then I have a kitten. So our dog, we buy like those big 30. I don't know if gallon is the right word because it's not liquid, but we buy one of those big like 30-pound dog things. They're dog bags of food for her, and then she has like a little feeder. So I want to say those last her about a month, and then our kitten is like less than. He's a cat now. He's a year and a half, but he his bag of food lasts about a month and a half or so. He doesn't eat a whole lot. His he just kind of grazes as he feels like it. And so I had them separate, like in a pet's budget, but that doesn't include like toys or vet visits and things like that that I should be putting away for. So I think for now, I don't know, it feels kind of silly to put it under the pet budget just because like I get it when I grocery shop. So I think for now I'll keep it there, but let me know what you guys think or what you do. So like for the pets that you guys have, do you put it in your grocery budget or do you keep their budget separate? Yeah, but I mean, I definitely need to budget for them because they're my babies, and so I will do stupid things if I don't have a budget. So that's very, very, very important. But with our groceries, it varies. If I have someone bring the groceries to us, I can normally keep our budget at about 150 a week. That's granted, they actually grab everything that we need in the correct quantities and the correct ones. Every time we order through Instacart or something, it's a crapshoot. And so we have started to physically go to the grocery store. The problem is that then the grocery store is our oyster, and then we're like, oh, I want this, 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 and that, and so our 150 a week bill turns into like a $300 bill because then we're like, oh, we need this for the house and that for the house, and ooh, candles. So my gut tells me to budget on the high side and then try to cut it down. But the problem with that is then we're looking at a $1,200 grocery bill for two people. And even with inflation, that seems very high. So I kind of want to budget us on the lower end um, for what I can do. Like I said, when we do Instacart at the 150 per week. And then from there, I can do like an audit at the end of the month to see how much we actually spent and see how big that discrepancy is and if we need to actually up our budget or if we can stay where we are or like are we being frivolous or is it really that we're just not getting everything we need like when I Instacart because that's a huge difference. So if I budget at the 150, so I'm just gonna pull up my calendar. I'm sorry, my calculator. So if I budget at the 150, per week, that would put us at $600 per month for groceries. This is regular. That does not include the fact that Thanksgiving is this month. And I'm thinking that maybe I should have that as a different line item just because what we spend for Thanksgiving is not normal. And so I don't want that to become a regular, like, when I look back at our budget in March, like, oh, we spent so much that month and adjust it that way. I want to be able to be like, oh, Thanksgiving was then because my brain will not go there otherwise. And so we have $600 for groceries, dining out. Um, Baby needs to lose weight. And so I'm trying to keep our dining out budget down. But again, it's a holiday time. So I know like for the night before Thanksgiving, we are not cooking. Um, Oh, that was another thing. In our old house, our oven did not work. But I mean, I'm thinking now, like, we can get, like, we're not going to cook, but we can get, like, frozen pizza so we can throw in the oven. So I think I can keep our food budget down. We do try to do, like, a weekly date night just to get out of the house. Like I said, I don't get out of the house. And so we try to make sure we do something together at least once a month. And our go to is always, like, going out to eat. Um, I'm gonna try and find some other things. So I mean, let me know what you guys do, like what your date nights are. If you do like no spend date nights and some ideas, because I'm not gonna sit at home and do a puzzle and like there's only so much Netflix that I can watch. So just let me know what you guys do. But dining out, I'm gonna try and keep it at $200 for the month of November. Fuel, I can fill my tank for $40 and I fill up like once a month, and then my husband can fill his tank for about 45 and he fills up like once a week or so. So I will do math. 45 times 4 is 180 and then plus my 40. So we'll do the same thing. $200 for gas, shopping. Um, we need winter clothes and we were looking at taking advantage of Black Friday to do that. We've started getting some things, but like I need new winter boots and a new winter jacket, and then I mostly wear like skirts and things like that, and so I need like tights and things like that. So I'm gonna circle back to shopping. Yeah, home. We need a new bed and mattress, two mattresses. Our My mother-in-law is coming to visit in December and he wants her to stay here. So we have to get the guest room together. But we needed a new bed and stuff anyway. And so we're moving our bed frame, getting a new bed. So it doesn't all need to be done in November, but if I can get at least one thing in November and then like one thing in December, then I think that would break up the cost a little bit. And so the bed that we're looking at, the frame is 500, and then I know that we can get a mattress for like 300 or so for now until we can save up to get like a more expensive, like better mattress. And so I'm gonna do 800 for home. Gifts, nothing. Christmas is coming, but I think I'm going to do a separate video where I do a budget for like holiday kind of stuff because I have been putting some money and things away to start doing holiday shopping, but I just don't want it to be in my main budget because I will see a shopping budget and be like, ooh, baby got $1,000. And I do not have $1,000 for Brittany. I have $1,000 for overall. So our pets, our dogs, food is like, I'll budget about $100 for them. That also includes like every time I order GoPuff where we need like, oh shoot, we need eggs or something like that. They have like these little bully sticks that I order for my dog. It's like $6. So that includes her getting all her little treats. Beauty. I'm not willing to cut down my beauty budget, guys. I do so much between like even with cutting everything down, like between work and school and home and everything, like I just that's my time. And I do things at home, like I do at home spa days and stuff, but there's just nothing like going to someone and letting them do it for you, like someone who does this. And so I cut my hair off, so I have like wigs and stuff that I can put on. So I don't really necessarily have to worry about that right now until my hair grows out just a little bit more. But I do my nails, get my nails and my brows done monthly. Um, and so I will budget, including tip, 160 should cover it. And then lawn maintenance, we actually do not have to worry about until spring, thankfully. So I'm going to highlight that as something we don't need to worry about right now. So right now that puts us at 2,000, and that leaves us $1,601 left to budget. So this says savings name, but these are not necessarily. I guess that they could be like my sinking funds, which I still have not set up. So one of those things is going to be Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas gifts. Um, so for Thanksgiving dinner, I feel like it's just the two of us. My husband may make something to take over to his aunt's house really quickly because they do like a potluck. But we were going to visit my dad for Thanksgiving, but it was the plane tickets were expensive. And like I said, we had just moved. And so we're not doing that. But we're doing food here, and I already have like the menu of what I want him to make for Thanksgiving. I haven't decided on my dessert just yet. What are you guys having for Thanksgiving? I am curious because I am always open to more ideas if you guys want to share those. But I'm thinking $200 for two people should be more than enough. And then Christmas gifts. When we do Christmas, we do Christmas. It's my favorite time of year. I love getting gifts for people. I love the harmony. I love decorating. And so I know in November, right after Christmas, we're going to get our tree and then start gifting and things like that. But I don't want to put our entire Christmas budget in November. Realistically, I wanted to start budgeting for Christmas in July, and life did not happen that way. And so we're splitting Christmas between November and December. Also, I have the second half of my financial aid that will be coming in the beginning of November. And I'm not budgeting for that because I think I'm just going to stick that directly into my emergency fund from there. And so for Christmas, right now from November budget, I think I'm going to budget $800 for Christmas, and then that leaves us with 600. I know that there are some people that like to budget to zero, but I love having that buffer because I impulse shop, and so, but just in case life happens, things happen, and so just being able to see like, okay, we have a $600 buffer that's not allocated towards anything makes me feel much better, especially like when I log in to my account and I can physically see that $600 there. I normally try to keep a buffer of about 500. That buffer got depleted when we moved, and so I'm trying to rebuild that and rebuild our savings. And so just seeing that number makes me feel much, much better. Another thing is that because at the other job, I was getting paid weekly. It was an hourly job. And so now that we're just relying on our two salaries, there's going to be bigger gaps between paydays and things like that. And so that just makes me feel a little bit better for like where there's that gap between like the third and the 15th, that like 12-day, almost 2 week gap. We have not had a 2 week gap in pay for years now. So this just makes me feel a little bit better. But yeah, my first video back. It was super, super, it was more chatty than anything. I just wanted to fill you guys in, let you know where I am, let you know that I'm here. We are starting again. I am trying. I just turned 30 in June. And so, I understand like it's time to start getting my SHIT, my sugar honey iced tea together. And so, or like, I can't, with good kind of midlife crisis, she says, get her poop in a group. That's how I feel like it's time to get my poop in a group. And so I just wanted to jump on here while I was doing my budget for the month, show you guys what that's looking like. Like I said, have to set up sinking funds. I have my envelopes that I bought a year ago that I have not used yet. And I need to set up a few other things that actually look at like allocating some debt payoff. Oh, that's another thing. The $600 actually might not be a buffer because I said that I was going to pay off my credit cards, which were both about $300. So that $600 is likely going to credit cards, um, or I might not. So I will keep you guys updated. I'll try to post a whole like November reset within the next couple of days and just what I'm doing to get my life back in order after having to spend so much money in a small amount of time and just wrapping up the end of the year and just what I want next year to look like and what my goals and things like that are. I would love to share that with you all, and I would love to hear about your goals and things too. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching. I am back. I will be uploading more often. So thank you for dealing with this chatty, chatty, chatty video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.